Cool. Well, I want to encourage anybody else who has any questions to throw them in. We've got time for some kind of hot topic based questions. So, um, curious, Raf, to you, with what's happening in Europe around third-party app stores, and those being allowed now and seeing more and more creep up. What does CrazyGames see for itself or for the web space when it comes to stepping in? And is there a CrazyGames app, which is basically the future of mobile web? Like what, I mean, maybe we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I didn't ask if we could talk about this, but I gotta imagine this opens up some space for you guys, right?
There's something coming up on on this regard. There's something coming up.
Okay.
So we're looking into it, of course. I feel like at least for Crazy Games, our vision is really to be like a cross-platform, which means like, we want to be in every device. The web
Mm,
enables us to do that. And I think that there's a lot of room, for because we also have some very unique content that's not
mm.
available, right, in mobile. So I think that there's an opportunity. Can't talk much yet,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. I can see by the look in
something
your
coming.
eyes. We hit on yeah, all right, cool. And I guess just whoever wants to jump in. I mean, AI is a hot topic. Obviously very busy on sort of the creative side for mobile, on the game dev side, art side. Are you seeing anything different in web when it comes to AI as part of game development? John, is it a part of your pipeline at all? Are you looking at it?
Um, Apart from using it when I'm coding, yes, I'm looking at it for creating courses in our new game. So it's like the
Hmm.
data that powers that. So we're going to have like new courses every single week, and we have a whole bunch of data with hundreds of different sections. And it's like the new game. It's an obby game with vehicles, car game. But basically, yeah, we're going to have loads of new courses, and the AI will hopefully generate them and is generating them actually already. But basically, we'll create a huge kind of selection of courses based on all these pieces. But yeah, it was something that we're working on a way to streamline that to allow us to create
Interesting.
many hundreds of them. Um, that's
A
just
quick
creating
quick
data,
follow-up
but
on
it
that,
is a
actually.
it is a
Sorry,
thing that would, yeah,
I just thought, wanted to dig into that for a second because something that's really interesting is, I mean, you've built such an organic community, right?
yeah.
That you can get so much, uh, information from, and also this, very technical AI system to build your courses. How much is your AI trained by feedback from your players in this community?
Go for it. Yeah, not yet, but it will hopefully. But yeah, I think the community will hopefully be able to create their own courses as well at some point soon, and create their own sections for courses and all that user generated stuff will definitely be on our plan. But the yeah near side of it, yeah, like it would be really good, I think, to feed back into like
Hmm.
the data when you're creating the courses, like feedback in the results of people previously when they completed these
What about
sections and all that
this?
kind of stuff.
Maybe this is just a random idea. This is what I would love to see, but what if I could AI prompt a course create my own course through AI prompts,
That'd be
right?
great.
Like,
That is exactly it. So I want one with these. So we started to write in metadata about like, well, okay, this section is this, has a tree here, it has like three spiky things that's going to kind of hit you. And so we've got the metadata now in each section, like all the hundreds of sections, and then the AI can create that based on the data that you're giving in. So yeah, we definitely could do that. Then if you like, I want something with loads of really difficult spiky things or collapsing
hmm
yolks,
hmm Lots
yeah,
of
it would be
errors,
totally
lots of
doable.
errors.
Yeah, just it will come
Very
out. Yeah, so
cool.
that's the sort of thing that I'd like to see us be doing. Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
But yeah,
Nice.
I like AI, but yeah, I do kind of like also like to get things done, so I don't like to sidetrack loads. But when
Mm.
I was just writing down to a thing that would actually create, the courses from eating all the data, output a thing like the old way out, you all would have coded stuff. I was like, let's see if AI could do this for me, so I don't have to do any of that coding. And it kind of worked. So I was like, okay, let's continue down this route. Say like cut that corner. I like cutting corners. I don't like to
Mm.
create more work to be saying I'm using AI to be fancy. It's like if I can cut a corner and not have to code something, I'm definitely going to try and do it. I'm an
Mm.
expert at cutting corners, I would say, definitely.
Which is how you win
Not
in
so
Smash
much.
Cards, actually. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
100%. Yeah.
makes sense. Makes sense. Everton. One thing I hear a lot in the mobile space is just discussions around investment, right? Obviously, it's the investment landscape has changed quite a bit in mobile, and a lot of studios are seeking investment. What can you tell mobile developers about what the investment landscape looks like when you're on web games?
Well, a tough question, this one. I think we have this a normal to last years about any kind of investments. Everyone
Mm.
are afraid of what will happen.
Hmm.
and holding a bit any kind of investment. I can say that this year it started better. That is big news, I can say. It's easy to see come back to normal in this kind of investment. We have a project. Expect to can share this soon. The involving web and crossplay. So and I can share that is was easy to notice the more interested from the investors or publishers. If you talk about this web integrated with mobile, is not a fight, is a co-op game, right?
Oh, sweet.
I can cross-play in web and mobile, or the old mobile in the new web. So I can say that would be a great tip. We have this web already to offer in your studio or in your games. It doesn't matter. Obviously, it would be a great advantage to negotiate any kind of deal if you have web already integrated in your
I mean, I
studio.
imagine it would make the team look better for being able to manage cross-platform, and obviously it opens up more revenue streams and things like that. That makes sense. Raf, question for you. Something that just came to mind, kind of off topic of hot topics, but you know, one thing that's interesting in the mobile space is obviously the transition away from hyper casual and to whatever you want to call that genre now. I mean, I don't really get too fussy about that. But one of the interesting things about hyper casual is just the rapid prototyping and the testing, right? And obviously the landscape has changed to make that less feasible. People have to be like more considerate with what they throw up against the wall to see if they stick, whether it's just costs or clones or what have you. That doesn't seem to be as problematic on web. Is web a good place to test a concept for a game? Should I take my core mechanic and see how long those sessions get and use that to validate mobile, or is there a break in consistency if I go from mobile or from web to mobile? What does that look like?
No, definitely. I think the web is probably the best place for you. Like, I mean, if you work with a platform like CrazyGames, right? Like any game that we publish these days, you're gonna get tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of players in the first couple of days. And I think that it would it's zero user acquisition spend, right? So if you have and the audience, they're prepared for something that not so fancy. So you get feedback, you get emails from the users, give you feedback game, and I think the web probably would be, if I was a developer, the place where I would start. And from there, I mean, you will also validate very quickly, like if your game idea is good or not. You have coming in, and you can iterate on top, right? Like and I think that's what we're seeing right now. We actually, I think that's the next change really happening is like even mobile games, they will be launched first on the web, kind of, and and then they will go to other platforms. And simply because, there is more players, and like the access is very fast for your game, and you can collect data and then iterate on top.
Yeah, really fast feedback loop. Probably a lot more interesting depth of feedback because there is such a gravitation towards creating community that the community will sometimes create itself if they're really into something, I would imagine. And I mean significantly cheaper, right, than like what people are used to going out and spending a bunch of money on Facebook or TikTok or Google to see what their game can do. Okay, last batch of questions here because we're running low on time. So just because everybody in the industry loves predictions, let's make some predictions. So predictions for web. Let's do what is web in 5 years, Rafael?
Well, I'm very bullish about Web GPU. Like I see, we're about to release a game called Project Prismatic, and this game was in the showcase on the Unite from Unity, like showing what you can do in Unity 6. I just played yesterday, and it looks like a PC game. Like it's beautiful, gorgeous. Like, and I think like obviously we are right on the beginning, right? So there's still a lot of technology needs to evolve. The browsers, they need to have this as a standard, right? But I feel like in 5 years' time, like there will be if there is any difference between like playing games on the web and in other platforms, and I think that's the next thing. I also feel like what's gonna happen is that for the players, they will kind of prefer to play on the web, right? And I think that it goes hand in hand with, like, the experience being as good as anywhere else, but then more accessible. I feel like there's more companies joining right now the space, not just on the developer side, right? There's like more service providers coming, like you guys as well, right? So that are looking to the web. And I think one of the really good things about the mobile ecosystem is that it's very well developed, right? It's not just the games. There's just so much stuff around that you can optimize and add it and learn and earn it, right? And this is the next change that's happening on the web. So bigger players coming. We're seeing now even other platforms, right? You can name a few here. Discord.
And you're also saying like graphic quality is going to hit equal to PC basically.
Oh
So
yeah,
you're saying like
well,
web and PC or web and console like side by side, 5 years time.
yeah. I mean, game size would always be an issue. So with that, obviously, that's something to consider. But I do think, like, graphically speaking, the web games they would get quite
Definitely.
more.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely seeing that already. I've played some games with some of our other partners that I'm like, I couldn't even believe it was web, and it rendered great. Frame rate was smooth. I mean, I have a pretty decent rig and good internet connection, but yeah, I was really, really impressed. Okay, John, one for you. Prediction for web games in 10 years. All right, that puts us at what, 2035?
Whoa,
Yes, Everton, the numbers are going to keep going up.
Okay. Good. I'm like, funnily enough, that's how I usually plan in 10 years. So, we'll 10-year blocks. So yeah, I'd say we'll have a new version of Smash Cards and it will be running a web GPU. And
You're gonna have
that's,
a new
I
version.
it'll be 5 years, it'll be still going, it'll be replacement. But yeah, like I think it'll be like it will still be there. Smash Cards will still be there. And it will be a much bigger game, and it will be based on web GPU, a better technical backend. But a lot of that is driven by where the audience will go. I think the audience is going to break out into more awareness and new audiences. So the audiences in the new places that don't exist yet, that I hope someone else breaks through, or I can follow in, or I can break through. But I think the audience that it is now is only the audience it is now because that's where the awareness of these games exist and the need. But I do think it will jump out of this space into other audiences, and there'll be like a push and pull. So 10 years from now, I do think it'll be quite a wide adoption. Because of the in 10 years will be the thing that Rafael, you said, that will be solved. The thing of like download size, that's a problem in 5 years, I think, is going to be a problem. You can have all the nice graphics you want, but you'll cut down the main audience now. But I think over 10 years' time, the audience will have moved. It will be older. There'll be lots of diversity there. Those players will want better games. They will have a good network connection, and they will choose to play these games they can hop into a lot easier. So I think 10 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised to see it there. And it will be on every single thing. Like I was playing it on my television, my Samsung television last night. I was playing my new game there to see how it works. It has memory issues, sadly, but it will be more adoption across all these devices. Every single thing will run these games. And so as a family or as a group of people, wherever you are, you'll be like, well, we've got a TV, we've got a phone, we've got a tablet, we've got a laptop, we've got 6, 7, 8, 10 devices, with 10 people in the room. They can all play on different devices. We don't need like any special hardware. So I do think, 10 years from now, we're gonna have a much wider adoption and more awareness that this is so much easier to do than you go onto your Xbox and it downloads. Oh, there's a system update. Oh, you want to play this game? There's also an update for that game too. And then you're like, your friends are like bored. They're on their phones playing web games already. So I don't know. That's my future 10 years from now. The new Smash Cards will be in its 5th year.
Back to John's point, I think it's exactly that, right? Like, we're getting a generation now of young kids. They're actually growing up like in this renaissance of web games where the experience is actually great. It's getting better and better. It was at the point in the past that a lot of companies like Miniclip, they went to mobile because you could not do this stuff on the web as much. But I think this is what's changing right now. And I think that's as people get used to it. Like, I play not just because I work at CrazyGames, but I play more and more web games. It's just part of
I mean, there's just so much you can do in a given session, like, again, just from having the choice alone. I mean, I think multiplayer gaming, but just personally, is just like something I'm always going to do over most single player gaming, really, if I had a choice. Everton, web games, 20 years.
20 years. Well,
And don't worry, I'm going to take the hardest one. So just give me a quick one on 20 years.
I will play a Nintendo Switch on web in the new Zelda, maybe.
Yeah.
20 years from now.
Sweet. Retired, playing.
Retired, exactly.
Yeah.
But I can completely agree with both guys. If you look to the current today players' behavior, this kind of platform and mobile game or PC game is something that an old guy mentioned. For the player, there is just games. There is no platform. Even today, almost we are reaching this milestone. Doesn't matter the platform, is a game platform, and the player will play in the TV, like John mentioned, and the mobile.
So in 20 years,
desktop.
there's only mobile web, basically.
That's
Mobile web
exactly.
wins in 20 years. Yeah. All is mobile web, or all is web. All
The
is web,
global game platform.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe you can see that in 5 years, not in 20.
But certainly by 20. All right. Well,
20, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a prediction on year 50. So it's 2075. I think web games will be Pong, basically. Like it'll just be two tones, super basic. Everyone will be just so tired. I don't know, I don't know what technology looks like, what society looks like then, but it'll either be like VR only, indistinguishable from reality, or just starting from scratch, like pure zero, alpha or omega. That's basically my call on web in 50 years. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you all so much for joining. I want to thank the audience for them joining as well, and any questions they threw in. Hopefully we got to all of them over the course of the conversation, and there will be videos on YouTube soon from this, so we'll be getting those out to everybody. But yeah, thanks again so much for your time, guys. Really appreciate it, and stay tuned for episode 3 coming up sometime. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.